Is Tom Aspinall the new king, and should he be cancelled? Let's get into it. Hello, welcome to On Me Head, son. If you like what I do here, don't forget to like and share the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notifications bell for all future videos. So, Tom Aspinall, he's got in a bit of deep water recently, soon after his UFC heavyweight championship victory in Madison Square Gardens. He got a bit of hot water, I suppose, not from the interviewer herself, but from the internet, the world, because they're calling for him to be cancelled. Yeah, so he was being interviewed by Nina Drama, who she's got a YouTube channel. She interviews all the UFC stars, and yeah, she pokes a bit of fun. She has a bit of fun with them. Anyway, he decided to have a bit of fun back as well. Now, what he said was a little bit lewd, yeah, but look, she took it in good humour. She was throwing stuff at him as well, as she always does as well. So this raises up quite a few issues. So first of all, should he be cancelled? Well, what is being cancelled? Have we ever noticed that cancelling only really applies to people in the media? You know, people who are popular, people who are famous. You know, general people like me and you don't get cancelled. You know, who gives a toss about what we say, right? Okay, so he said this, then people just come out of the woodwork. Oh, he should be this, he shouldn't be allowed to do that, he shouldn't get away with this, he shouldn't be in the UFC. Okay, so first of all, let's just say exactly what he said. Well, basically, he made a lewd comment about whether a UFC fighter will be able to do anything to her sexually, as it were. Right? Okay, fine. But she was saying loads of stuff to him as well, and she says to all the UFC fighters. So there's a lot of innuendos in what she says as well. So he was just playing along. They're good old friends. They've had a good old time. So she didn't take offense, and it was all fine. So she's not taking offense. So why should anybody else take offense? So the other thing is that people are taking all this out of context. Okay, they're taking it all out of context, right? Fine. But is he going to be cancelled? Well, what's he going to be cancelled from? Okay, is he going to be cancelled from social media? Well, it seems to me that Tom Aspinall is the kind of guy who couldn't give a monkey's chuff about Twitter, X, Facebook, Instagram. You know, if he's banned from those platforms, I don't think he really gives a damn. Secondly, is he going to be cancelled or his contract ripped up by the UFC? Well, no. They are the most unwoke company out there. In fact, Dana White is very unwoke, let's say. I mean, he's been going after Peloton recently just for them threatening another YouTuber podcast, Theo Von, to say that he couldn't say what he wanted to say on his podcast. So they were going to say, take down the video or else we're pulling our sponsorship. So he was like, right, that's it. I've just heard this. Right, everybody go to our gym, get rid of all the Pelotons, we're getting rid of them. And he really went to town on them. So I don't think Tom Aspinall's got any fear whatsoever of being cancelled by the UFC at all. So it's all nonsense. And this is basically one huge, big double standard. If we want to comment on the situation at hand, the big double standard that's happened in recent years is that a lot of women feel that they can say things to men, whereas men can't say things to women. Women think that they can do things to men. Men can't do things to women. Now, if women want equality, and we want equality in society, I perfectly agree with it. I think there's no problem whatsoever. But you can't have a double standard. It can't be something that he's pulled up on something and she isn't. It can't be something that another woman can do something, say something, act in a certain way, but a man is cancelled for doing exactly the same thing. It's a big double standard, and we know that in society. That's why this whole thing is a real nonsense. And who is blowing it up out of proportion? Well, it's the media, isn't it? It's the mainstream media. They're looking for headlines. The sports press, they're looking for headlines. It's the Twitterati out there. It's the Facebookites. It's the Instagram people. It's those trolls online who got nothing better to do than just to get on their keyboards and start en masse thinking, right, let's spread a bit of negativity. Really, those people just need to take a good, long, hard look at themselves. What a complete load of numpties they are. But also a lot of these people are organised and there's another agenda at play. But also, let's not forget, a lot of this is generated by bots, by AI bots. And we know there's troll farms as well. There's a load of stuff out there. So there's always something behind it. There's always a push behind it. Now, whatever issue it is, whether it's a sporting issue, a political issue, a social issue, there's always something behind this negativity. And so this whole thing about being cancelled, well, to be honest with you, I couldn't give a monkeys about the whole thing, about being cancelled. It only applies to, popular people or by you know, famous people, because all of a sudden they're in fear of never working again or never getting paid again, right? I get it. But the likes of Tom Aspinall, well, do you know what? He's got nothing to worry about, and I don't think he's given it a second thought as well. So, you know, fair play. But let's just get on to the really big thing, right? The really big thing for me is that Tom Aspinall is the king. He is the king of the heavyweight division. For me, I don't care what people say, whether he's interim or not, where is John Jones and everything. I was listening to Michael Bisping on True Geordie's podcast, and this is exactly how I feel, and this is exactly what I've said in the past. If you can't defend your title, then you are not the king. You're not the head honcho. Just as Michael Bisping said, go back to medieval times. Go back to any tribal warfare, let's say. The head of the tribe. The head of the tribe is somebody who's usually the toughest, or he's got the political will amongst all of his strong people around him to maintain his position, right? And as that king gets older, then usually the strength is replaced by a bit of wisdom, right? So that's why it would happen. But obviously we're not seeing that in modern day combat sports. It's all about strength, ability and technique, right? You've got to be the hardest bloke in the octagon or in the ring to keep that crown. So John Jones can't keep that crown. He's injured. If the king can't defend his throne, if the king can't defend his kingdom, he's no more the king. He is dethroned. Therefore, Tom Aspinall, who has just become the number one contender, who's beaten everybody else, he is the king. He is the king-elect. Now, if you don't fight the king-elect, if you don't fight the next in line, guess what? This happens in the animal world all the time. You're debunked. You're out of there. You know, you run off, you scurry off into the jungle. So the new king takes over. If you're saying as the existing king, no, I'm not going to let this upstart take my post. I'm going to teach him a thing or two. Bash, bash, bash. They get into a fight and we'll see who wins. And whoever wins becomes the new king, right? And if you're the existing king, then you're going to teach this young whippersnapper what's what. Bash, bash, bash. You're out of it, I'm still the king. That's the way it works. But if you're not prepared to have a fight, or you can't fight because you're injured, then you've only got a certain amount of grace period. You've only got a certain amount of time before, hey, nobody's buying this anymore. So this is where the John Jones situation is for me. Basically, Tom Aspinall is the king. He is the king-elect. John Jones has basically, for me, he's vacated the throne. He's vacated the title. Whether he has or not is irrelevant. For me, Tom Aspinall is the number one. He is the man to beat. He is the king. He's the one who's sitting on the throne. And everybody else has to come to him, bow, and hope that they can take his crown. And that's the way it is. Nobody's going to cancel Tom Aspinall. Nobody gives a monkeys about what went on or who said what in jest or whatever. Crikey, let's all have a sense of humour. But what we can't have a sense of humour about being in the ring and who's going to be top dog. And for me, Tom Aspinall all the way. If you can't defend your crown, you're not the king. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Is Tom Aspinall the king of the UFC, the heavyweight division? Should he have been cancelled? Should he even give a damn? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you like what I do here, don't forget to like and share the video. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notifications bell for all future videos. And I'll catch you again. Bye now.